This is the plaintiff, Roger Davis. He says the defendant was driving like a maniac in his souped-up hot rod, lost control on the highway, crashed into a wall, ricocheted off the wall, and T-boned him. Then the guy gets out of the car and runs away as his car ignited and burned to a crisp. He was injured in the crash, has to go to physical therapy. His car's totaled, and he's suing for $5,000, the state max. This is the defendant, Ron. He says his gas pedal got stuck. He tried to put the car in reverse, but it kept going, and he panicked and hit the wall. The plaintiff was nowhere near the crash, and he never bounced off the wall into his car. This guy's an opportunist who's trying to cash in, trying to get over on him, and is also trying to get over on Judge Millian. He's accused of being a one-man wrecking crew.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant was speeding, hit a wall, and T-boned him. It ended in a fiery crash. The defendant says the plaintiff is a fraud. His car wasn't even touched. It's the case of bumper thumper.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Roger Davis, you are suing Ron. You've asked us to refer to you only by your first name for $5,000. You say you're out actually more than that in damages as a result of a car accident that you say was his fault. Tell me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
Actually, maybe you could tell me on that
Okay.
diagram.
Certainly.
Pick a car.
Okay. I was driving a silver Mercedes, which the closest one would be, well...
I'll use my imagination.
Okay. I had exited approximately here and noticed...
Which are you, blue?
I'm the red.
You're red.
And his car was white, so we'll use the white as his.
Fine.
Okay. I had exited from the westbound belt down here, and had come.
That's the first time that's happened. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying it. Go ahead.
Okay. And I noticed the defendant's vehicle behind me excessively speeding. Upon getting to this point, the suspect's vehicle.
Well,
the defendant's vehicle changed from this lane, which was an exiting lane, which is the side road of the Van Wyck Expressway North, and had come over. And as I was turning, I noticed his tires spinning.
So you knew he was out of control.
Yes, and dust being kicked up, and it became foggy. There were also two cars here that he tried to avoid hitting. Approximately here, he hit this wall, and as I was coming around, he ricocheted off the wall and slammed into me.
And where did your car go?
And my car hit this retaining wall here. And then his car proceeded this direction and ignited and became a charcoal briquette on the highway.
Oh my goodness. Were you hurt?
No.
Okay.
And I had come to a stop because
Were you hurt?
Yes, I have 8 herniated discs in my neck and back as a result of this accident. So.
Do you have a personal injury lawsuit pending somewhere?
I do. But that's in.
But you're suing for personal injury here too?
No, I'm suing for consequential damages.
You're suing for pain medicine and punitive damages. There's no such thing as punitive damages in a case like this. The only thing it could be would be pain and suffering.
Okay.
Do you have a personal injury lawsuit with lawyers pending somewhere else?
I do.
Do they know you're here? You don't think that would be important to tell them?
Well, no.
Because they would have tied you up before letting you come here, because you understand that if I rule on that here, it bars you from recovery there.
Well, I'm suing because...
Do you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Does it worry you at all what I'm saying? Because you're thinking about defending your decision as opposed to opening your brain to maybe that wasn't the smartest idea. Go on. Okay. What happens there?
Okay, so I call the police and they dispatch the fire trucks because I told them that I believe that the car that hit me ignited on the highway, so they immediately sent out the
Did you
fire.
ever see him crawl out?
No, he had fled the scene, which was...
Wait, how do you know he fled the scene?
Because he ricocheted off of me and took off.
Oh, the car didn't stay there.
No.
Well, you put the car there, and you didn't tell me it left, and you told me it blew up. I didn't assume that it was a rocket. I
Okay.
assumed that it stopped there when
Okay.
it went on fire. No, you don't need to retrace your steps.
Okay, yeah,
Just tell
bang,
me what
bang,
happens
and
after
bang.
you said that he goes on fire. He just keeps going on
Yes.
fire. So you don't see where he ends up.
No, but I see a huge fireball down the
You
road.
do see the fireball.
Yes, but it's about 200 or 300 yards away.
Okay.
And the punitive damages that I was
No, forget your lawsuit. Don't try to be a lawyer. Just tell me what happened. First, I have to hear the facts.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about the law.
Okay.
First, the facts. So you see a fireball 200 or 300 feet away. You
Right.
hear the fire trucks. Does an ambulance come for you?
Yes.
And do you go to the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see both the hospital records and the police report, please. Let me hear from you. What happened?
My car hit the wall. And caught
What
fire.
happened before that part?
What happened before my car hit
Yeah.
the
You
wall?
didn't think I'd ask you that? Come on. What happened?
No, my pedal got stuck. I hit the Jersey barrier, which is about a 3-foot wall. I went forward, and the car threw the car in reverse, and I went perpendicular to the Jersey barrier, and the car tires kept spinning and went up in flames.
Oh my goodness. How did you survive it?
Well, thank God I got out the car, and NYPD officer.
Wait, before you get out of the car, when does the car go up in flames and what part of it goes up in
Well,
flames?
I got out the car before it went
Before
up
it
in
went up in
flames.
flames.
Like the tire, it was spinning, and it over revved. Like if you over revved the car, pretty much the tires were spinning. It was kept moving, but I
Why did you
wedged
turn
it
the car off?
through
did-
everything. It
didn't
would have been
occur.
simple just to go like this. But
Right.
who thinks about that when you're in an
Oh, I don't
accident?
know. How many people might have thought
You
of
know,
turning the car off if the worry is that it
everything
keeps...
happens so fast.
No, I kind of get that it all happens too fast at the second.
You just
But
wanna
once you're
get
running
out.
of the car, you might want to turn it off.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
just
it's,
thank God, you know.
Yeah, thank God that nobody was killed in this, because this is the kind of situation where you see people killed.
Exactly.
Okay, worst drivers, men or women?
Oh, women. They get too distracted with makeup, calls, cell phones, they other things. They're just.
At least he has some reasoning behind it.
Those are really good reasons. I agree with him.
Women?
That is not true. That is
Okay, well, I'm not hearing like a big reason on why it's not true.
I've had plenty of ex-boyfriends who had more tickets. I don't even have one.
In your face, going inside the courtroom.
So what happened to your car? I assume it was a total loss,
It was a total loss.
and you were fully
And-
insured. Well,
No,
you weren't-
liability.
He was insured.
I
right?
had liability.
Liability.
It's
So
an
you
83
just ate
Malibu.
your loss because you didn't have collision, and then the liability you thought covered him. And
Well, I will tell you the truth. This gentleman here, I have a couple questions for him.
okay.
If-
Well,
if,
you can't ask him directly, but ask me.
I would like to ask him. Did he see me? Because he says he saw my vehicle. I'd like to know what color does he say my vehicle was?
What color was his car?
If you look at the photographs.
What color was his car?
His car was a white Malibu hot rod, Your Honor.
What's hot rod mean?
Souped up, like.
How would you say souped up is an opinion? How was it souped up?
I only caught a glimpse of it.
Yeah,
Your
no,
Honor.
that's why I'm wondering how you can conclude
It looked
that.
like it had thick tires. It was
Okay.
jacked up in
What
the back.
car were you driving?
I would like. Was he on some type of pain medication or under the influence? I
Why
don't
do
know.
you say that?
Because I like to present some evidence of mine and to give to you so you can look at.
Okay.
That, if you don't mind.
Yes. What
This is
car
my
were you
registration. Before, of course, the car is
driving? What
not.
car were you driving?
I was driving an '83 Malibu wagon.
Okay.
What color?
Excuse you.
I'm sorry.
What, a wagon?
Yes, it's a station wagon.
A souped up wagon?
No, it's a
Okay.
regular stock car. It's an '83. It's a boat. And the registration.
I can't tell what color that is.
That's
It
a
looks
yellow-
kind of yellowish, but I can't tell
Yes.
if that's. Yeah, it actually says yellow on the registration.
All right, and
All right, but, you know, that's easily-
He claims that he saw me. I've
Do you not think you hit him? How do you know? You're ricocheting off like a billiard ball.
no.
I mean, you're on fire. You're like, do you
I know
think you
if I
did
was on
not hit him?
fire, and I know if something did happen, I wouldn't be afraid to run. But the police came, the fire department came, the tow trucks came, And this,
Did you flee some scene or were
I
you
did
there?
not flee anywhere.
So
I
he doesn't
stayed
know
there.
he's-
The car's on fire.
Okay.
This gentleman was
You
nowhere.
don't, what is your premise? You don't think you hit him.
Right.
So
And-
what do you think like there's a million accidents, but there's a ball of fire.
I mean, he could have got nervous. Maybe he saw my car
That
hit
might
the
have
wall
happened.
and said, "Oh."
Right, but that would be your fault too.
Oh, well, I don't know what happened.
And there's damage to both sides of his car.
It's damage to both sides of his car.
Right, not just one. But if I'm driving and you're out of control in front of me going sideways, and I readjust and hit that's your fault. That
Okay,
one side damage is your
I don't
fault.
know if that
But he has
happened or
damage
not.
on both sides.
I don't know what happened. So
Okay.
Your Honor, may I?
No.
That's not fair.
It is fair. You have you have a little lawyer complex, and you got to chill. Okay, you have to wait until I ask you a question because I have a certain place I'm going with this, and if it doesn't jive with what you want to do, that's too bad for you. All right, military time 2304. How long after the accident did you file the lawsuit?
I don't know. The attorneys are handling.
Well, I know, but you were in court, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how long after the accident was that?
Approximately a month.
Okay. So as a result of whatever you did in court, the lawsuit, his insurance company paid the total loss of your car, correct?
I believe to my insurance company. My insurance company paid me.
Right. So his insurance company, so you collected from him through the insurance companies, which
Right.
is how it's done because you had already collected from your insurance company, the total loss of the car and 2 weeks of rental?
I would assume my insurance company recouped the 2 weeks that they paid for the insurance coverage.
So you are suing in this lawsuit to collect 2 months of rental in addition to those 2 weeks?
Yes,
Why would it take 2.5 months for you to get a replacement car?
because I was seeking to replace a similar Mercedes to the one I had had previously, and my car was at that point 15 years old. I subsequent to that purchased a 2001 Mercedes, similar in color and almost the exact vehicle. And since they're in short supply, it took a while to track down the appropriate vehicle.
But why would he have to pay for that? What if it takes you 2 years? He's got to pay a rental car for you for 2 years?
Not for 2 years, Your Honor, but he deprived of my vehicle, Your Honor. I mean, I had the right to maintain my vehicle.
That is taken up in the total loss part of your lawsuit.
so-
Typically, you don't even get a rental on your total loss because the idea is, okay, that's it. There is no, it's the rental's for while they're repairing it. So you got to get a rental because they're going to repair it. It's a total loss. Go out and buy a new car. They gave you 2 weeks to go out and buy a new car, I guess. So they gave you the 2 weeks of rental. Why would you ever get 2.5 months of rental?
To get a replacement vehicle similar to the one that I had had previously took a while to get that.
Well, then that's your petulance that you want the exact similar older model Mercedes that you had previously. You don't get to rent a car for 2.5 months and have him pay for it. That is not a foreseeable expense. But more importantly than that, when I have this, this is the ruling. It's not really a judgment, but I guess it's an oral judgment from the bench that you've sent up that says the petition to stay arbitration and coverage to be provided by Progressive Insurance Company. I mean, the only thing I could deem this to mean is that they separated the property damage from the personal injury. If you're telling me the personal injury claim is still pending,
correct.
That's the only thing it could
this
be.
was just
So if the property damage part was separated from the personal injury part, you can't sue a second time for property damage. That would include the rental car costs, which if you could, I wouldn't find reasonable anyway. So based on what I am telling you, I am ruling in favor of the defendant on the rental car costs, Carfax, and title fee. All of that should have been handled in your first part of this case, where you accepted money from your insurance company, subrogated your claim to the insurance company, and they collected some odd dollars from his insurance company. As for pain medicine and punitive damages, there are no punitive damages in this type of case, and I hesitate to touch anything involving personal injury so as to not jeopardize your personal injury case. So that part will be dismissed without prejudice. That's my ruling. Good luck, folks.
Well, here comes the plaintiff. He didn't get anything in court because you can't sue twice for the same thing. So come on in here, and what's your feeling on the outcome here? You understand the ruling?
Well, I do, but I guess the law is just so confusing because I was attempting to get the money that I paid
I know.
from out of pocket.
How'd that go?
For a replacement vehicle. It doesn't. Great country, America. You don't. There's no law anymore.
Well, it's good to see you alive.
Yes. I don't know. Maybe this guy was on something. Maybe D hit him. Who knows?
He was calling you the suspect in the courtroom.
You see, I don't know. Like I said, D hit him, so it wasn't me. Maybe.
What's D?
D's nuts. This guy's crazy.
D what?
Huh? D's nuts. Harvey?
The key here is you cannot try the same issue in a different court. You get one bite of the apple. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.